That's what we're gonna do.
How many more episodes do you have? You know?
Let me see. Where am I? Maybe 2. Maybe 2. This is what, 7, 8 episodes?
I think it's 8.
Then 2.
Yeah.
Then 2. I'm close to the end.
Oh, hey, Reddick with a joke this morning.
I saw it.
Do you know why witches don't have babies?
Why?
Because their husbands have Halloweenies.
You're delirious.
I am.
You're delirious.
I slept for 3 hours last night.
You need help.
I need sleep. I need sleep. I even got in bed at like a fairly reasonable hour.
Okay.
And then I just laid there.
Why?
And my brain would not stop thinking about the Memphis Grizzlies. I know. It's a tough thing to try to fall asleep to.
You gotta tell your brain to think about happy stuff.
I did. I tried to count sheep.
That's not happy.
I tried my alphabet prayers.
Okay. Hey,
And
do
I
you
kept
ever
getting
pray for me? Wait, do
distracted.
you ever pray for me? Oh,
Of course.
I
You're
should-
so
I
welcome.
should be immediately the C.
You're not immediately the C.
Oh my gosh.
But you are I'd say you're one of my top 10 C's.
Okay.
Which is pretty good.
That means something coming from
Sometimes-
you. Because you've probably been in the weddings of the other 9 C's.
And
Yes.
sometimes I want to give your wife, who's also a C, like I'll think about it
She's
in real
fine.
time. And
She
only
has
one.
me.
I'm very
She has
ruthless.
me.
I'm very ruthless in my prayers. It's a one hit only. You cannot have multiple for every letter. It is one per letter. That is all you get. Oh man.
What was the song?
A River by Joni Mitchell. It's officially Christmas season once I
Oh,
hear
come
that song.
on.
I walked into a restaurant, one of my favorite restaurants, so I won't besmirch them. They were playing Christmas music on November 1st. Day after Halloween. Yeah, Jacob knows. We watched that Grizzlies game on Friday night against the Lakers, went to go get our favorite food the next morning, and walked in and heard Christmas music.
Had
and
to
that,
have been Hive.
Oh, I love you. But I was about to
Oh my goodness.
lose my mind. What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, November 4th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass coming up on today's show. Grizzlies lose their 3rd straight game. A second-half surge falls short against the Pistons last night. We will break it all down. Mike Wallace will join us. He was in the locker room after the game. We'll hear from him on John Morant's post-game comments, how the Grizzlies move forward. College basketball season is here. That means Will Coleman is too, joining us every Tuesday. Want to get his take on some of the big performers from day one. I spent a lot of time scrolling through some of the best college basketball players last night, plus a look ahead to the Memphis Tigers season that starts later this week. We'll do a little TV Tuesday, what we are watching. People named their sexiest man alive. It's a Tuesday. You know what we say. You can't play Christmas music until after Thanksgiving. Respect Thanksgiving.
We're having a fight in my house right now, and I fear I've lost it. We're about to put the tree up.
191 Collabs, presented by Pinnacle Financial Partners, brings Grizz Nation hyper-local Grizz gear from Memphis designers. The next drop is the top-notch collection from proud Memphian Brandon Hobbs and his clothing brand M-Town Merch. The homage to Memphis culture, classic sportswear, and elevated street style is only available at the Grizzlies Den on Friday, November 7th, when the Grizzlies host the Dallas Mavericks. Get your tickets today at grizzlies.com/tickets or visit the FedEx Forum box office.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all-new tour.
You're the other white meat.
How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it.
I realized I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at jeffdunham.com.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details. Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
Who's going to be the tougher team that rebounds and prevents second chance opportunities?
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Now that's the new edition way.
But I feel like there's another level we can take it to.
What you think, Mike?
2 steps ahead of you, Slick.
What's good, bro?
What you doing, man?
I'm in.
Woman, you don't even know what I'm getting ready to ask you.
Here's the vision. All 3 of us on the same stage every night.
Gonna be crazy.
No barriers, no separation.
It'll be like 9 kings and a queen.
The next level starts now.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling of having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope your week got started better than the Memphis Grizzlies' week got started last night as they fell to the Detroit Pistons. I hope your week got a better start than the street on my way home. I left work last night, CJ. I finally left this building, left the double post, pulled out to drive home, and there was water all over the street and like 10 cop cars. And I was like, oh, that's a bummer end to a bummer night at FedEx Forum. Listen, we are going to get into all things Grizzlies. Here's a live look. Live look at the road. I don't think it's supposed to be doing that. I don't think it's supposed to be doing that.
This is the street my bus and other buses come down to get downtown and go to the downtown terminal. And my bus gets right up there to the intersection before, not intersection, but right before the MLK second intersection. And my bus just sort of stops and then dart like, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Let me just dart down this random road behind the FedEx employee parking.
Feels like a metaphor.
But it's just you've got to know as a city that this is happening here. Why wouldn't you alert the buses like, hey, stay off of this street, and then alert the riders, hey, we've got some changes. If you plan on trying to catch the bus here, you probably can't. Come up a stop or go down and stop. We'll get you at one of those. That was the only thing I was thinking about when I hopped off the bus. And then it was, I sure hope there's water in here because Tuesday is calling my name, baby. And if there's no water, I'm not sure how we're gonna flush this thing.
What a start. All right, we will get to all things Grizzlies. But I do, for the sake of my sanity and for the sake of the city's sanity, I want to give a quick shout out to the most successful, most consistent, most winning team in this city currently, the Memphis women's soccer team. We don't talk enough about the Memphis women's soccer team. They won last night at the American Conference Tournament opening round. Memphis is, of course, the 1 seed, and that is Ashley Henderson with what would be the game winner. That is the American Conference Offensive Player of the Year. She is a local product. She played at Harding, connects for the game-winning goal. That is Memphis's 3rd game winner this season that happened in the last 5 minutes of the game. They are on to the semifinals on Thursday. They are the 3rd-ranked team in the country, so they are the obvious favorite in the American Conference Tournament. And as I got home last night from the game and was doom scrolling in bed and searching for any shot of happiness, any shot of dopamine before I closed my little eyes. I was like, hell yeah, Memphis women's soccer always gets the job done. Congratulations to them. We'll see how they continue onward on Thursday. Meanwhile, at FedEx Forum last night, CJ, the Grizzlies lost their third straight game, falling to the Detroit Pistons 114-106. The Grizzlies found themselves down 21. They fought back. They got within 3. And then it was a lot of Cade Cunningham down the stretch. And Cade Cunningham played like he was the best player on the floor last night. He had 19 of his 33 points in the fourth quarter. The Grizzlies turned the ball over 20 times. The Pistons had 33 points off of those 20 turnovers. Jaren Jackson Jr., Grizzlies leading scorer with 21. He hit 4 threes. Ja Morant, a 18-point, 10-assist double-double, but those 18 points on 5 of 16 shooting. Ja was asked after the game if he has the same joy right now, and he said no. And I gotta be frank, I get it, because I'm not having a whole lot of joy watching this Memphis Grizzlies team play either at the moment. That's just the truth. And we'll get to the Ja Morant of it all. Mike Wallace was in the locker room last night, and we'll chat with Mike in the next segment. But starting with the game itself, I mean, for 2.5 quarters, it was a struggle to watch. And the Pistons were totally pulling the Grizzlies into their game, physical, crashing the glass. You know who this Pistons team is, and getting to the rim with absolute ease. It was a layup line at times, 58 points in the paint for the Pistons. And on offense for the Grizzlies, a lot of the early action was spent hanging around the perimeter. And I said it on the double post last night, I would love an official stat of how many shots came within the last 5 seconds or less on the shot clock, because it was a lot of late shot clock opportunities, a lot of bad shots. Then a switch goes on in the third quarter. They end the third on a 12-0 run. They take advantage of a stretch where Cade Cunningham was on the bench for Detroit. They got some juice going. The crowd was really in it. You had the crowd chanting, "We want Ja." Ja's on the floor. Ja has the alley-oop with Vince in the fourth quarter. That place erupted. The fans that were there were so loud. They were so ready for it. It's a 7-point game. They'd eventually get it to 3 with the Jaren and 1. And then they can't close it out. And it's just really hard to win games when the intensity does not come until the last quarter and a half for this team. And frankly, it's really hard for this team to win games, period, right now. And TBD if that is a short-term issue or a long-term issue. The depth at guard hit yet again with those 20 turnovers, although Ja had 5 of the 20, but just the understanding of there's no real clear secondary ball handler for this team right now. The depth hit at center remains an issue, and the best thing that happened for Memphis yesterday was Zach Edey practiced with the Memphis Hustle, which is great news for his return to play schedule, and hopefully we see him much sooner than later. And I just keep telling myself, until I see Zach Edey inserted into the mix, and Ty Jerome too, I will try to withhold full panic. And again, as I'm laying in bed last night with all the thoughts rushing through my brain, and I'm looking at the clock and it's 1 a.m, and I'm like, why can't I fall asleep? I tried to go back to a phrase that I use often for my anxiety-riddled self. I mean, what if it all works out? What if it all works out? It might not. I want to be perfectly clear. That's how the other side of my brain goes. It might not, but what if it does? And what if Jalen Wells starts making threes at some point? Because that hasn't helped. Jalen Wells is 4 of 35 from 3 in his last 6 games, was 0 of 7 last night. Josh shooting 13% from 3. But perhaps this turns around. Perhaps getting Edey back, Ty Jerome back is a massive fix. Maybe the shots start falling. Maybe a Cedric Coward getting inserted into the starting lineup allows this team to get off to faster starts, because that has certainly been something that has plagued them from the preseason through the early action. But it's November 4th, CJ. We're 8 games into this thing. Where do you think the panic meter sits coming out of last night?
The panic meter depends on what your expectations were going into the season. So you tell me what the expectations were, and I'll tell you where you should be on the panic meter. We talked right before the season got started. I said where I thought they were. No need to rehash that. So I'm kind of fine. I'm all right. I thought Bassey coming in was another bright spot last night.
He's a bruiser.
It was like, oh, okay. This guy's just big physical bruiser. And when you're playing the Pistons and they've got Duren and they've got Stewart and all of those dudes are out there on the court determined to be physical as possible, you needed that. He did a really good job on the glass. And it's like, okay, there's something here. I want to see a bit more of that. And Brevin Knight brought this up. And whenever we've talked on air and off air, you bring this up also. Jaren's natural fit is at the 4. At the 5, he's asked to run around, set screens, be down low, and be a force on the interior in a way that he's not comfortable being, be it defensive rebounds and offensive rebounds as well, getting you extra possessions. I thought Bassey did a really good job of getting the Grizzlies extra possessions last night and just being a big guy who wasn't going to be pushed around. We are, 8 games into the season now? Mm-hmm. 8 games in. What's the tiers on the panic meter? Like, there's no panic at all, and then there's complete and total utter panic, and then there's somewhere in between that. I say you shade just a tier over. You're still in the yellow.
Okay.
You're still in the yellow.
Yeah, if we're going red, yellow,
but
green.
We're
in like the orange.
But isn't it? Yellow is the neutral color.
Yeah.
So if we go green is good, red bad.
Yellow's neutral, but
you
it goes from yellow.
Green, blue, yellow, orange, red.
Yeah.
You are yellow, but like you're real close to the orange.
Yeah.
You're real close to the start of the orange there.
And that's where it can get real dicey real quick. Like the shallow side of the orange can turn to the firm orange, could turn to the red, because when you look at the next 10 games for this team, and the Pistons are a very good basketball team, right? Like there's no real shame in losing to the Pistons. It just happens to be that this comes after you have lost your last 2 games.
And how Friday popped off.
Friday went. And Ja serves a suspension on Sunday, and all the eyes coming into how Monday the response is going to be, and is it going to be out the gate this complete, like we're going to go prove to everybody that we are a better team than the team that lost its last 2 games, and instead you end up losing 3 in a row. And your next 10 are the Rockets, the Mavs, the Thunder, the Knicks, the Celtics, the Cavs, the Spurs, the Kings, the Mavs, the Nuggets. And 3 of those are here at home with the Rockets, the Mavs, and the Thunder on Sunday. But that's where a losing streak can turn from a losing tumble into an, oh no, this thing is off the tracks real quick. We will see how they respond against the Rockets come Wednesday. We will see if there is an ability of tapping into this earlier. Yes, CJ?
How did you think they responded? Ja comes back from the suspension. How did you think they just responded? Never mind the results on the court. Never mind the stats, anything like that. Body language wise, man, we're being body language experts again, but just from an emotional standpoint.
We are all Ursula.
How did they?
Never underestimate the power of body.
Does she put her arms up here?
I don't know. In my head, she does.
Yeah. But
I thought about that line multiple times last night.
How do you think that they responded? Like, you
responded well in the second half, which is more than I thought we were going to be able to say. So in terms of the shifting of expectations, I mean, I think they had 9 turnovers with 10 minutes left in the second quarter. It was messy. Again, the offense was just so stagnant. All of the cuts and the screens that we're supposed to see to get this thing moving and flowing, like that ball is sticking. Roser said last night, and he gave credit to Devin Walker, that it was like a pass and a prayer offense. Like you just pass the ball and you hope that the person who catches it, if they get that late shot clock opportunity, maybe they chuck it up and maybe it goes in. But there wasn't a whole lot of flow. Now that changed in that late stretch in the third quarter. They were able to get some defensive stops, and this thing all kind of situates itself on how they play defense and trying to get turnovers, trying to create some pressure inside, which the Pistons did not have for a large portion of the game. If they had left Isaiah Stewart or anyone else open for a corner 3, how many times have we said, how many times are they going to leave so-and-so, insert player here, open for a corner 3?
Insert random player.
Random player.
Right, like I did not have death by Isaiah Stewart
corner
from 3 on my bingo card last night.
I did not have Isaiah Stewart scoring 26 points
Career
on
high.
9 of 18 shooting.
Career high season is definitely a season high.
6.
I'd
seasons,
have to
I believe.
imagine it's a career high.
I would imagine.
Isaiah Stewart isn't running around here like Steph Curry from 3.
Imagine.
Is he?
But it showed good fight right? And that's such a thing to say, and there are no moral victories in this situation. Again, Cedric Collard played 31 minutes last night. That shows to me that the trust is there. Put him in the starting lineup. I wish that they would have kept rolling with Cam Spencer down the stretch. He was the hot hand. He hit 4 threes last night, and for a team that is really struggling to shoot the 3 ball, there is great value in someone who is shooting it well at the moment. I mean, your best 3-point shooter is Jock Landale, and that is not a positive to be speaking of at this point. But Cam with 13 off the bench, Cedric with 17 off the bench. Would love to see more from both of them, and we'll go from there. But they're still missing 4 rotation players. And I know it feels like a broken record thing. Like, call me when I see this team at full strength. And I hope we see this team at full strength eventually. But at bare minimum, getting Edey and Jerome back would seemingly make a massive difference. We get to the end of the game, and I'd be remiss not to say, and we'll get into this more with Mike Wallace, the substitution patterns are now under a microscope. Like, every Grizzlies fan out there, every person in that building, every person watching at home is Nancy Drewing this thing with a giant magnifying glass and really getting into the why players are being subbed out in the way that they are, why the rotations are looking the way they are. And when you look at the minute distribution from last night, Ja plays 35, Jaren plays 31, Jock plays 30, Cedric plays 31. But on the flip side of that, Cade Cunningham plays 39 and Duncan Robinson plays 40. And I got to the end of that game, and for the Grizzlies to have gotten themselves back in a position where you have a winnable opportunity in front of you, keep your best players on the court. Let them play. If Jaren fouls out, he fouls out. If they aren't able to play together and it all falls apart, they aren't able to play together and it all falls apart, and we see it. But at this point in the season, and shout out to the person who called into the double post last night bringing this up, like, when you look at 2-man lineup data for the Grizzlies this season, and you don't play the game with 2 players, you play with 5, but 2-man lineup data, Ja and Jaren have only played 107 minutes together this season. And some of that is, I guess, by necessity, because you really need one of them on the court at all times. And God, when both are off, it feels incredibly tenuous. But in comparison, like, Ja and Jalen Wells have played 172 minutes together this season. And we went into this thing saying, as long as Ja and Jaren are healthy, the Grizzlies have a chance, but that also requires seeing as much as Jaren and Ja together as possible and maximizing the 2 of those and the 2 of them playing alongside each other and seeing if they can both be the best versions of themselves. And if not, then you're in trouble. Then you're in a sticky situation. Obviously, all eyes on John Morant, all ears on John Morant after the game. We will talk with Mike Wallace after a quick break. He was in the locker room. We'll get his firsthand account of those comments, go through them, as well as where the Grizzlies go from here. That's after a quick break.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Check this out. Last season in the NBA, there were 139 40-point games. We're like 5 days in, 6 days in, and we have had 16 already. It is on pace for over 300 40-point games.
Holy crap.
Sheesh. That would be the pace.
Yeah.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
The only thing better than Saturday Night Hoops is when it comes with an exclusive Grizz hoodie. Every Saturday this season, $60 gets you a Grizzlies ticket and a limited edition Grizzlies hoodie. 4 different hoodie designs dropping across 4 Saturday games. Not sold anywhere else. Don't miss your shot to collect all 4 designs. Grab your tickets and gear up now at grizzlies.com/Saturday.
Welcome back, welcome back. It is Tuesday. That means it's time to catch up with Grind City Media senior editor Mike Wallace. He joins us every Tuesday. He joins us now. Mike, good morning. How are you today?
Hey, the sun is out. You know what I mean? It looks like it's going to be another beautiful fall day here in Memphis. So I'm good. Like, hey, the season's long. You know what I mean? You got to pace yourself if you're dealing with these teams these days.
Pacing oneself is always a good reminder. And I want to start with a post-game because we have not gotten to that yet from last night. And I know you were in the locker room. What did you make of John Morant's comments after the game? He was asked by DeMichael Cole if he had his joy back. He said no. That is the quote, the clip that goes viral that you're seeing on ESPN and Bleacher Report and Hoops Highlights. And he was also asked about what he can do or what can be done to get it back. And he said, we'll see. He was asked if he had a good relationship with the organization. He said, yeah, they told you all that, right? Listen, before you get into your experience of seeing it in person, I'm not going to lie. I didn't love watching the post game. And I didn't see the whole thing until I got home last night. Mostly because I know how people are going to react to it. Right? Mm-hmm. Like from a national reaction standpoint, you know what you are going to get when those are the clips that make the little graphics, the little meme graphics. You'll see John Morant's face and it'll ask, do you have joy? And it'll say no. So that's what most people are talking about this morning. How did you see it play out in real time?
Well, first and foremost, man, I'm still trying to process why in the hell Dan Campbell still had Jaden Daniels on the game when we're down 30 in the fourth quarter, so he can dislocate.
You've had a bad
himself.
week.
But that's where I'm starting from, right?
Yeah.
So I'm already on edge on that. I'm ready to go. Hey, listen, I was on the fence before. I might get back on the fence when it comes to that. But you asked about the Grizzlies and John Morant. Yes, I was right there, standing right beside him the whole time as he was talking. And the thing about Ja, man, is that he comes into these things with best intentions. He really, truly does. And I could tell when he wanted to speak, because it wasn't a guarantee that he was going to speak to the media yesterday. He normally doesn't talk before games, but there was a crowd waiting for him before the game, thinking that if he wanted to get this off his chest, apologize, or get to the talking points, that he would do it before the game, right? To get it out, clear the air, and then go into the game. Because if the game didn't turn out well, that wouldn't be the place to do it. As it turns out, he addressed it after the game. I don't think he helped himself necessarily with the comments and the way he came off. I knew what he was trying to do, but there's a disconnect between what his intentions are, what his delivery is, and what the expectation of what those sound bites are going to do in the aftermath. At one point, he ended the session by saying, "Is that your?" He asked Chris Harrington, "Is that your home run question? Is that your question that
The bait.
you want to go
Sounds
out?
like
This is
bait.
sounds like bait." And frankly, the bottom line was that no one was trying to bait Ja. The media just wanted to give him a chance to articulate and get his version out and what he felt. I think both Isolo and Ja sort of missed the mark in that situation. We obviously know what this, what the deal was. We know that there's frustrations. We know all of these things. And I think instead of, kind of holding yourself back and alienating the media, just address it and move forward, because now sweeping it under the rug creates another opportunity for this to continue to become a storyline. So I wish there was both of those guys in that situation, but they are two strong-willed, stubborn men who are some of the most successful people in the world at their craft. And this is the way that they choose to do it. So, hey, we move forward with it.
Yeah, I also, from a very human standpoint, I understand, right? Like, he's talking after a loss. This team has lost 3 straight games, and I joked in the first segment, I'm not having a lot of joy watching this team play, so I would understand why you're not experiencing a lot of joy playing at this exact moment either. And I also understand that conflict doesn't just get fixed with a snap. Like, this isn't a movie script. This isn't magic pixie dust. Like, these things take time. And some people can fake how they feel better than others, and others are kind of relentlessly real in how they present when things aren't all going well all the time. And I thought Jamal Crawford had a really good kind of breakdown of this. The whole Amazon Prime crew on their show, or it was the NBC crew, excuse me, talked about how this could really be a moment where Ja can teach a generation how to handle things when it's not comfortable. Like, that is a path forward, because we're 8 games into this. This doesn't just go away. The season doesn't evaporate. They're back in this building on Wednesday, so there's going to be plenty of opportunities to continue to build the bridges to move forward. But I'm with you also. Like, at the end of the day, we know how it gets clipped.
Yeah, we know how it gets clipped. And I think, as much as I love Jamal Crawford, man, he's one of my favorite all-time NBA players in terms of people to deal with, right? Like, this is a young, and just real quick to tell you about Jamal Crawford, this is a guy that, after he was voted 6th man of the year, called everyone that voted for him personally, including me, and said, "Thank you for the vote. We appreciate the support." Like, he reached out individually to do that. So that's the kind of person that he is and was as a player. So he's coming from a good place. But that's not the place where Ja Morant is, and it never will be. That's not the place where Allen Iverson was in the middle of his career, and it never will be. That's not the place where a lot of these athletes who Russell Westbrook was never there. Like, it's a confrontation type, it's also it's one of those things where when Isolo wants to explain something to you, he's always saying it in the, hey, this is this is invasion sports, right? It's an invasion sport. This is a confrontation type medium and market. So when you're asking him a question, the first thing he's going to do is, okay, how do I need to be defensive against this? And what do I really truly want to say? And I don't think he needs to teach a generation anything. Like, he has to be authentic to himself.
Yeah.
And I also understand, like, how do you, the one thing I would ask Ja to do, and I've talked to his people and him in some ways about this. You don't have to answer every single question, man. Like, you don't have to give somebody, even if it's a yes or no, you don't owe anybody that. There is no way for you to answer the question, do you have your joy, without it being a yes or no question. And if you say yes, then you're not telling the truth. And if you say no, then it opens up another Pandora's box to what do you mean by it? So just pass that one up. Hey, it's not about joy right now. We're losing. I got to find a way to help us win.
Yeah.
Simple as that. It's an easy fix for these things, but again, when you're dealing with guys with so much pride and so much talent and so much that they put into this, and it gets emotional, I can understand it from both ways.
I wanted to use this as a chance too, because I have seen some pushback from fans who are mad at the line of questioning yesterday, and people didn't see the pregame either, but there was a line of questioning for Tomas Isolo, where local media and the media who was there tried as hard as possible to ask around all avenues to get something. And I just want to remind people, that is their job. And I know media and content creation has become so blurry, and journalism and content creation. But at the end of the day, a journalist's job is to ask hard questions that can be uncomfortable, that can be difficult, but it's not all about getting clicks. It's not all about the aggregators take the quote and do the memification of it and send it out into the ether, and then all the shows, like even our show right now, pontificate on it and talk about it. But from a journalism standpoint, if you can't ask questions in regards to something very public that happened, we're talking about a different thing. Like, that's their job. That's simply their job.
Absolutely. I've done that job for 20 years before I came to Memphis, right? Like, I covered this league. I had to be on the other side, before internal and digital media was even a thing. Like, I was the asshole asking the tough questions. Like, I've had run-ins with Eric Spoelstra, Pat Riley, Stan Van Gundy, Mike Woodson, all across, like, up and down, all of the teams that I've ever come across and had to cover. And you have to do your job. And it's not like you're trying to be a butthole, but you got to put somebody in position to face and address the issue at hand. And I thought it was fair. The Memphis media, the local media, and I work alongside these guys all the time. There's some days when I think they're absolutely super soft, no question about it, right? And I think the industry has changed. I don't want to blame people for not, but the industry has changed. But yesterday, I felt like everything that was asked to a certain degree was fair, and it's up to the subject being asked to be able to take the higher plane and use that as a platform to get across what you want to say. Not to cover your A and run and duck and hide. You just got to straight up and say, hey, listen, this is where I am. This is what happened. Because now I have to answer this question as we move forward. What are the relationships like? How do you rectify when things get adverse? How do you come out of that? What do you need to do to reach and make contact with these guys? When you're winning, it's easy to talk about those things, but when you're losing, it becomes a different challenge. And I think the Grizzlies will grow from it, and I hope both Isolo and Ja grows from this as well.
Yeah, and this has happened so fast. It was just less than a week ago that, the team was obviously still dealing with a horrific loss to the Miami Heat, but they bounced back, had the big win over the Pacers. You get the win on the road over the Suns. You had the Draymond incident. So a lot has happened in a short period of time. But in terms of a 180 vibe shift, this came, nothing ever comes out of nowhere, but it did hit in a way that I don't think many people expected, at least this early in the season. And I did want to ask you about the rotations and the substitution patterns, because as I said in the first segment, this is now something that has a giant magnifying glass on it and is being looked at by everybody. And Tomas Isolo spoke on that pregame last night. He kind of spoke around it, but was asked about it from this is the thing that led to the frustrations of Friday. And then he spoke in kind of broader terms around his philosophy around substitution patterns. And he really focused on how it's about optimizing results in the short, medium, and long term, Mike. And I saw a lot of people respond to, well, if this is about pace and intensity, and if you're not seeing that as a direct result of these substitution patterns off the bat, then what are they for? Why are you doing these short stints at the expense of players getting into a rhythm? I wanted to ask you, do you think when they're talking short, medium, and long term, is the long term like long-term injury? Like, we're talking about a seed that is planted today that's a 10-year thing versus even just a is everyone healthy for the playoffs this year?
You know what? I guess when I hear that, I hear it coming from an organization that, despite all of the best intentions and those things having been in play, we're still the second most or first injured team in the league, right? Sure. So even with these metrics and analytics and all of this data in play, and you're operating by it year after year after year, the Memphis Grizzlies are the most injured team in the league. It's Memphis, New Orleans, Miami. Those are the three teams by far that have been the most injured in terms of their frontline players over the last 2 to 3 years. So even when you're applying those things, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be the way it works. Injuries are such a random thing. It's not like you're seeing a lot of wear and tear injuries. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just part of going from off season to ramp up for training camp, and then the preseason, and then you're in the games. You know, it takes time to get your body, to adjust to that. But having said all of those things, I think what has to happen is Isolo needs to get the results from all of this stuff that he's putting in. He's a brilliant mind. He knows the game. He has a robotic way of processing everything. And he's a brilliant communicator when it comes to being pragmatic about how he explains things and wanting to educate. people on what he's doing. He really opens up the door for you to ask him about the philosophy that he has. Bottom line is that it's got to win games. And it's got to result in, okay, if 17,000 people in the arena sees Jaren in the game and not Ja, and it's 6 minutes left and you're down by 10, now's the time to say, okay, let's go win this thing. Not thinking about processes when you're in the middle of a losing streak. I get that part of it. But at the end of the day, the thing is, if this is going to continue to be the way he does it, then the results have to come. Otherwise, you're doing what you told everybody you wouldn't do. And that's to be stubborn and not be willing to adapt. He said adaptation and pragmatism were the two things that strong suits. You have to adapt when you don't see the results that you necessarily want to see. And you got to be pragmatic in explaining why. So I think those are things that he's going to have to deal with as well as a first-year NBA coach.
I wrote down those two words to save for the season: adaptability and pragmatism. With adaptability, is the quickest thing to adapt to perhaps looking at Cedric Coward as a starter for this team?
We certainly see him as a finisher. I see why you want Kentavious Caldwell-Pope as your starter, or even Jalen Wells as your starter. I think those guys get a little bit more defensive respect, at least from the officials initially. Those guys have been through the league, at least once in terms of Jalen Wells, and 12 times according to KCP in terms of his resume. Cedric going right in is going up against some very, very difficult matchups. We've seen Luka Doncic. We've seen, what happened with Luka. We've seen what happened with Brandon Ingram and those guys. And we've seen what happened last night, when you talk about Cade Cunningham. And they went right at Cedric. And he was right there every step of the way. Booker the other week, he was right there every step of the way. But he's not going to get the benefit of those calls in some situations. And they're going to exploit him being a rookie. So I can see why you're not going to start him off like that and you kind of let him get in a rhythm going into the game. But at the end of the day, man, as Isolo said, look, who I have in the game in the last 6 minutes is way more important than who I have in there in the first 6.
That's where I would have loved to see Cam Spencer late in the game last night from a in-game riding the hot hand situation. And that's something you learn as a coach too. Like I get he's been very, very, very successful in Europe with Team Paris, won a championship, but it's still his first year as a full-time NBA head coach. Like there is a learning experience for him too. And I caution everybody, we're 8 games into this thing. There is still so much unknown about this Grizzlies season. Obviously, Zach Edey is a huge part of it, and seeing him practice with the hustle yesterday is massive in terms of getting one step closer to seeing the true vision of what this team looks like. How much, I'm sure we'll have this conversation many times when the day comes that Edey is playing, but how much does he fix, Mike, from your perspective, looking at it right now?
I just finished right before I came on with you guys. I just finished my Grind City Media mic check column piece for the day after. So it'll be out this morning and this afternoon. And one of the things that I inserted in there between, in terms of evaluating what Jaren said after the game last night, which was important, and then putting that in the framework of Isolo and John Morant. I said one of the things that's encouraging about what the Grizzlies are going through right now is that there was a significant step forward in Zach Edey's return to play process. When you talk about an all-rookie, first-team all-rookie guy who's a double-double, and, he's going to immediately address your rim protection and your rebounding on defense. On offense, he's going to create massive screens that gets your guards downhill and at least in the free throw area for floaters, where John Morant has improved his game the most. I think that's going to be a comfort zone once he gets back in there. Now, I will say this. Getting up and down is going to be a challenge because Zach Edey wasn't the fleetest of foot before, and now he's coming back from foot surgery, essentially ankle surgery. So he's going to have to get his conditioning to a level where he can come right in and be effective. But he's probably going to play short spurts when he does. I will say this in terms of how things line up. He's on the short end of that 6 to 9 week projection that the Grizzlies put out on September 26th on the eve of training camp. Friday marks the 6-week window. So for him to be practicing this week and then Friday is the first opening of the window for reevaluation, that's encouraging. He's 2 weeks ahead, the same way Jaren Jackson Jr. was 2 weeks ahead right now. And we'll see how his body responds to these workouts with the hustle, because there's just not a lot of time for the Grizzlies to hold practices during the middle of this stretch that they're in right now.
Scotty's in a boot, just doing a full injury roundup. We have no real new news on Brandon, right? Haven't missed anything there.
Yeah.
And then
this
Ty
is 6 weeks,
Jerome.
though. This is also
6.
6 weeks
Okay.
with Brandon, and he was supposed to be reevaluated 6 weeks as well. If I remember these releases correctly, I think Brandon was 6 weeks. Zach Edey was 6 to 9, and Jaren at that time, obviously he's already back, so we don't have to worry about from his standpoint. But Ty Jerome was to be reevaluated in a month, and we're coming up on that month.
Yeah, we're right around then too.
Yeah, yep.
So
So all of these are progressing. I haven't seen much from Ty Jerome in terms of being on the court or doing much on the court other than dribbling and some light shooting. You don't want to play around with that calf. That one might take a little bit longer. We'll see. But in terms of Edey, that certainly is encouraging, because one of the reasons why, and you didn't ask me this, Jess, but I'll add this in here too. One of the reasons that got overlooked for why Charles Bassey was signed when he did, and he didn't play in the first couple of opportunities he had, was he also was a sparring partner, essentially, for Zach Edey in some of these workouts and some of these ramping up processes to get him back against a physical body that's sort of big, right? You don't want to burn out, your guys that need to play. You don't want to burn out Santi Aldama or, Jock Landale and PJ Hall for guys that you might need that night. So he was an extra body to go up against, Zach Edey to get him to this process. So Bassey has lived up to everything they needed for him, especially last night.
And then got 10 boards last night. So yeah. It all works
so he's
out.
lived up to his part. He's lived up to his deal so far.
I will go back to, I said this earlier in the show, and I will try to force myself to stick with it, and I would encourage anyone who can, what if it all works out? At this point in the season, what if it all works out? If it doesn't, we'll address it when we get there, right? If you pre-worry about everything really falling off the rails, that's what my husband always tells me. If you pre-worry, you're just worrying twice, and you're just experiencing devastation twice. So perhaps we're standing here a week from today and having a very different conversation, or at the very least, looking forward to the return of a couple players into this lineup. Before I let you go, I do quickly, around the NBA last night, wanted to get your take on one thing. Giannis Antetokounmpo hit a game winner for the Bucks over the Pacers, and you could see him doing the shh to the crowd in Indiana, because that was also Miles Turner's return game in Indiana. And Miles Turner was booed by the fans for his return game. They played a tribute video for him, Mike. I'm not sure if you saw this, but if you heard the audio from it, he gets boozed the second that he is up on the screen, and he proceeds to turn the page on an invisible book as he watches. He called it disheartening after the game, and he even went as far as tweeting, 10 years of blood, sweat, sacrifice, and constantly taking the disdain on the chin. I guess growth isn't always applauded. Sometimes it's booed. I'm still grateful, still rising. Hashtag fear the deer. Was it fair for Indiana fans to boo Miles Turner last night?
Fans can do what they want to do. They pay their tickets. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit there and tell fans how they need to act and how they should feel. It just wasn't a good look, because this was a guy that, he kept his nose clean. He was a model citizen in Indiana. He stayed there through a couple of different rebuilds. And he did what he needed to do, right? I mean, like, this was a time when they could have paid him to keep him and extend him and given him what he wanted, and they didn't. It became business. And, again, I hate to see that, because certain players, that means a lot too. Certain players don't give a damn about what fans, Jimmy Butler in that situation would have played the villain and welcomed the boos, right? Miles Turner is not built like that. He's a guy that needs to feel appreciated and loved. And I think what happened yesterday in his mind only validated his decision to move on from there. And like he said, he's turned the page. He handled it well. But these guys do have emotions, man. They do have feelings. And, we think that just because they're superstar athletes making all of this money that, they're robots, and they're not. So I hated to see that, because I know how much it means for a guy to spend 10 years somewhere and feel like on that one night, at least give me the applause and then boo me. Like, there are different ways fans can be creative. And that was not a good look for, or at least it didn't feel good for Turner.
I think this is one of those things where it's also where he ended up going. Remember last year, Pacers and the Bucks really had a nice little rivalry thing brewing last year. So that's where he goes. But outside of that, I'm not really sure what the heat is for Miles Turner from the Pacers. Did I miss him? Did he do something? Did he say something? Because if it's just
he had some words about Tyrese Halliburton a few weeks ago, and I
okay.
feel like that was the final knife twist. We're over this guy. This is now a personal sports rivalry.
They were fine with him when he was there. It wasn't like they were clamoring when they weren't clamoring for him to go. So it's just, hey, you left and you went there. I remember Kevin Garnett talking about Ray Allen's decision to go the year after the Heat beat the Celtics in the playoffs. Ray Allen was a free agent, ends up finding his way down to Miami. And I remember, we all know this story, Kevin Garnett, like, yo, it's not the fact that he left. Sure, it sucked that he left, but he went there. Russell Westbrook about Kevin Durant, he went there. That's what really bothered me. Hey, listen, fans are going to boo. You got to go out there and perform, man. You can't be so emotional to where you let what outside things are happening, what outside people are saying.
It's so much easier said than done.
It's not
really
that difficult.
is.
Jessica, I promise you it's not that difficult.
I promise you for some people
I do
it is.
Every single day.
I have
day.
therapy at 2 p.m.
Well,
and guess what?
good.
We'll continue to address it as we have for the last 5 years.
Because listen, we don't got time to be sitting up here coddling and babying people who are underperforming because somebody said something that they may or may not like. And Miles Turner, to his credit, did not go out there and underperform. It's like, okay, this is the moment. I'm going to do something kind of goofy.
A little goofy.
I'm going to just close this book.
Goofy.
I'm going to wink at you, and then I got a job to go out there and do. Right. I've got a job to
And that's the thing. At the end of the day, like, that's where I fully agree with you. It's a job. It's a job, and you're getting paid to do it. Like, there's a lot of times all of us get into situations, have days where we're having the worst day of our life, and we still have to show up and do the job and do the thing. And that happens to all. That truly happens to everyone.
And to your point, though, I mean, it is a division rival, Milwaukee, Indiana, obviously, and that was also the team. Remember, Tyrese Halliburton's dad got banished from the court side, because he ran up into Giannis's face last year during the playoffs. Dame Lillard had the issues with Halliburton, so he did go in that sense. Yes, there is a lot of that Miami versus Boston kind of feel, even though it didn't rise to that level, but at least regionally it probably did. So,
and that's where I feel like if you're Miles, you have to understand. Like, you lived that from the other side. You just have to go full heel turn in that case. But anyway.
You got to go Jimmy. Emo Jimmy can teach us a lot, can he?
I have thankfully never had a whole arena boo me, so I'm not familiar with how that would feel, and I don't.
Give it time, Jess. Give it time.
Yeah, give it time.
You got to show up to work tomorrow night.
That's
you
right.
better be careful.
All it could take is I could step up onto that box someday and just face plant down, and maybe that's the final straw for people, and they're like, wow, boo, that was horrible. Mike, I'll see you in like 45 minutes to talk Grizzlies again for Grizz Weekly Update.
Yep, let me hop on this interstate. I'll be there in a minute.
All right, we'll see you soon. Thanks, Mike. That was Mike Wallace. You can always find the latest up at grindcitymedia.com from him. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to look at some highlights from last night's college basketball action, because that feels like a fun thing to do on a Tuesday morning. Will Coleman is going to join us, former Memphis Tiger. We'll talk to him about the upcoming Tiger season coming out of, well, we'll call it disappointing preseason exhibition slate for Memphis. But we're going to look at some highlights from Peat, from Darren Peterson, from AJ Diabansa, and then also a funny clip from the Boise State game last night. We'll get into all of that on the other side.
191 Collabs, presented by Pinnacle Financial Partners, brings Grizz Nation hyper-local Grizz gear from Memphis designers. The next drop is the top-notch collection from proud Memphian Brandon Hobbs and his clothing brand M-Town Merch. The homage to Memphis culture, classic sportswear, and elevated street style is only available at the Grizzlies Den on Friday, November 7th, when the Grizzlies host the Dallas Mavericks. Get your tickets today at grizzlies.com/tickets or visit the FedEx Forum box office.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Grizz Nation, don't foul out on dinner plans. Hit Sticks Express in downtown Memphis instead. Fresh hibachi, steak, shrimp, sushi tacos, and yes, our legendary sake slushy to keep things cool. Order online with code STIX901, STIX901, and knock 10% off your tab. It's the perfect pick and roll for game night. Sticks Express, fast, fresh, always a slam dunk. And hey, come see us at our Collierville location too.
It's early, but top 4 in win shares per 48 minutes in the NBA right now, Cedric Coward is in that group. Do you want to know who else is in it?
Who?
Victor Wembanyama, Luka Doncic, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Second player with the highest win share per 48 minutes, Grizz rookie Cedric Coward.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. The Grizzlies are the one thing everyone in the family can agree on. So join us every Sunday this season for Sunday Family Fun Days. It's a steal at just $35 and includes a ticket to the game, a $10 food voucher, post-game free throws on the court, and a meet and greet with mascot Grizz. Space is limited, so grab your tickets now for this unique experience your family won't soon forget. Go to grizzlies.com/Sunday and have a fun day.
Calling all collectors! Topps NBA basketball trading cards are back. It's available in the Grizzlies Den by Fanatics and online at Topps.com. Rip into bold color parallels, electric inserts, relics, and autographed cards from today's biggest stars and the next-gen talent. Look out for rookie cards of Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper, plus Grizzlies favorites Ja Morant, Jalen Wells, and so many more. You don't want to miss this drop. Grab your set before it's gone.
Welcome back, welcome back. It is a Tuesday. That means former Memphis Tiger Will Coleman joins us in studio, and he brought us a gift.
Some treats.
Some treats.
Hey,
What do we got
we
for
didn't bring
today?
no food today.
That's okay.
We didn't bring no food. We brought some treats. So
That's okay.
I asked CJ if he liked grape soda, and CJ goes, "No, I love grape soda."
I also love grape soda.
So this is great. So I brought a soda that's literally only sold in like the South. You got Alabama and
Okay.
Georgia.
Okay.
And like certain parts of Georgia and Alabama. They don't sell it everywhere. So it's a grape soda called Grapico.
Grapicombe?
Grapico.
Grapicombe.
Grapico.
Grapico.
Yes.
Okay.
Grapico.
Grapico.
It's literally.
There's no caffeine in it, which is a real bummer for me this morning.
It's okay. It's arguably it's probably the greatest grape soda you'll ever
The
have.
greatest grape soda. What is the comparison on other grape sodas?
I don't even. There's no comparison.
Grapico.
And so
Since
crack that bad boy
1916,
open.
A southern thing for 100 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crack that.
I do love the sound of a pop.
Oh, that's a good ass soda. That's a good soda. That tastes just like purple.
Ooh. It does taste just like purple. As all good grape things do. It tastes like the color purple.
And my issue with a lot of grape sodas, and sodas in general, I don't drink a whole lot of them. I don't like the tingle down my throat, right? Like that carbonation is a bit too much for me. This one does have a light tingle to it, so it doesn't irritate my esophagus as it's going down.
It's not too sweet.
And it's not too sweet. It's a smooth.
It's not medicinal.
It's smooth also.
Sometimes when you get
yeah.
fruit-flavored sodas, they taste a little like medicine. And this does not. This is a smooth, nice drink, and it's in the name. Thanks, Will. I have a bone to pick with society that we don't get enough grape soda options in our life. Like, you'll go to a soda fountain, and there's often Fanta as a choice. So if you want orange soda, you have the choice to get orange soda. You go to a restaurant, it's totally normal to order a Shirley Temple. So you're getting a little like cherry soda with the grenadine. But you never have a chance to get grape soda.
No grape
sodas. And
sodas.
I think grape soda also mixes fairly well with a nice libation. With a nice little, like a little vodka grape soda is a good mix. So I don't know how grape got the short end of the stick.
Vodka
on
grape
the
soda
mixers.
here would be real good.
Yeah.
But just flavored sodas in general, if you're going to a sit-down restaurant,
You only can get a Shirley Temple.
like you can get Coke, you can get a
You gotta
a
go to
Dr.
like Firehouse
Pepper,
where they
but
had
you're
the
not-
machine with like 90,000
Oh, I do
different
love
sodas.
those machines where you can. My favorite is the raspberry, making like a little
I
raspberry
like cherry
sparkling
Dr. Pepper.
water. I do love a cherry Dr. Pepper.
I like
Oh,
cherry
so many good options.
This
Will,
soda as a float
this
would
is
be good.
Oh.
A float.
See?
I haven't had a float
Come on,
in a
man.
long
Oh, yeah.
time.
A grape soda float would be
crispy
incredible.
ice cream would cure me today, I think. Before we get into the college basketball space, we've been talking a lot about the Grizzlies today, of
Right.
course, and I assume as a Memphian, as a basketball fan, you are familiar with how the Memphis Grizzlies have started this season.
Yeah.
We were talking about this idea of, Ja got asked about his joy last night, and I just want to ask from a former player perspective, the notion of periods where you are not having fun playing basketball. How did you turn it around? Like when you think back on that time for you, because there's always another game, it just keeps coming at you, but at some point, is it as simple as once you start winning?
It could be, I feel like it could be a number of things. It could be you're not vibing with your coach. It could be you playing bad. It could be your shots not falling. It could be you're not winning. And I think it's case to case, with every player. And I think what happens is, I think the most important thing, for Ja is just, it's not necessarily up to us, but for Ja, just realizing what about the game is not fun right now and trying to figure out how to navigate around it. Maybe it could be something mental, maybe therapy, no one knows.
Right.
But just it varies, it varies case to case, player to player, so many different people have so many different things that they're battling with their particular game. So you just have to figure out what that is and figure out how to get around it.
Yeah, and I think it's such an odd thing that sometimes like us working other kinds of jobs don't understand, because you would never come to me and be like, is all of your joy wrapped up in your job? Like, are you experiencing joy? How many times are we all going to work and saying, God, I'd love to go on a vacation. That would bring me some joy today. But you go to work, you do your job. But then when it comes from the standpoint of a professional athlete or an artist in that degree, a movie star or a professional singer or someone in a band, it's like the craft is the joy, and there's such a spotlight on it that from a performance element, we're used to seeing, okay, if you're having fun, you can tell, right? Like it's very easy to kind of comprehend or to deduct how someone feels in that situation. So yeah, it creates an odd little thing, but hopefully the Grizzlies can turn it around. What do you see as the biggest thing that could shift this for the Grizzlies?
Honestly, I think they need to find, I think there's still a lot of, I don't know if you call it discourse amongst the team or the locker room, or, obviously you got a European or Yugoslavian coach, and then you got, I just playing in Europe, those coaches move a little different.
Yeah, you understand.
Yeah,
you played over there.
Yeah, they move a little different. They don't, a lot of them don't tend to put up with a lot of the antics and a lot of the, they gonna
Is that the biggest difference?
For sure. They're going to hold you accountable and call you out straight up. Like,
what were your coaches like over there?
Man, first off, they hate American basketball. They hate American basketball. I ain't going to say they hate it, but like, when LeBron and Team USA, when they all talk about playing the Serbs, that's a real, because they're real fundamental over there, and they all think they teach the game a lot better than we do.
There's like a basketball cultural difference.
Yeah. And I would agree to a lot of that, because they are very fundamental over there. Like, your dribbling, your ball handling, your shooting, your form shooting. They beat you to death with it, but it's like, I mean, obviously he's an anomaly, but if you look at somebody like Jokic, who don't have an athletic bone in his body, his positioning, the way he shoot, the way he seal, the way he, get down the floor, slow, but he's very smart. But I just think, obviously, we got a guy who's the face of our program, and we got a coach, I think, who's challenging him or, challenging him to step up and be a leader. I think they just need to get on the same page.
Getting on the same page would be a good thing.
Need to sit up. So I just watched the Allen Iverson documentary, and it was
How was it?
Man, it was amazing.
It's on my list.
And so when Iverson and his coach was fighting, the owner at the time, man, he sat them both in a room and was like, look, I'm not getting rid of this basketball player, and I'm not getting rid of this coach. So y'all need to figure it out. And so he said when that happened, all the energy, it just shifted. It just changed.
That was Larry Brown, right?
Yeah. And it just, him and Brown, they figured it out, and they hugged it out, and, it tied into a lot of the bowling alley ends. It was really great. Anybody, if you hadn't watched it,
might be the
watch
perfect thing for Grizzlies fans, especially right now to watch.
If you hadn't watched it, go watch it. It truly is a great.
What's it on?
It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
So go check it out. Bubba Chuck and all. I truly enjoyed it.
Well, what I found myself watching last night when I couldn't sleep were highlights from the opening day of the college basketball season. And college basketball season is here, which can mean two things for this city. the Tigers, which we will get to, and hopefully they have a better start to the season than the Memphis women's basketball team that gave up a double-digit lead against UAPB yesterday and lost their first game. But Tiger season starts this week. And then there's always the interest in who is going to be in next year's NBA draft. And I think more than, at least in recent memory from a players coming out of the college space, this draft is being categorized as almost hyperbolically special, which doesn't mean that it can't fulfill that destiny. But the way people who love basketball talk about this upcoming NBA draft is with like a sparkle in their eye, a thirst for any of these players. And there is this understanding of, okay, it really could be maybe the best draft class ever. And that's a big categorization
Even
to put
better
on a draft class.
I know we keep going back to that documentary, but Allen Iverson was talking about his draft class, and I was looking.
Yes.
So like, I mean, that's a lot of weight for you to this draft class better than, I'm saying.
Well, that player that we just saw was A.J. Dybonsa for BYU, and he's received a lot of praise, 6'9" wing. It's kind of this like upper tier of him, of Darren Peterson, of Boozer. But I wanted to start actually with, sorry, Jacob, I threw you off there. Because the player who I found myself enjoying watching the most last night was this Peat.
Hey, I'm locked in. I'm locked in on Koa.
Okay, what do you like about Koa? Or more important, like what's there not to like about Koa Peat?
This brother's huge. Okay, this is a big dude. My favorite thing about him, he's not the most athletic. He's not flying over the rim, but
I don't know. He had a dunk last night where I said maybe he is.
Yeah, but his mid post game and his short roll game, there was a couple times that I saw him that just made me fall in love with him. When even right there, that last play, when he catches the ball at that high post, hesitates, reads, and then make a move. Because your average big man is catching that ball right there.
Yeah.
He traveling, he turning it over, he don't know where he going with it. But his ability to catch that ball at the high post, sit, make a read, and make something happen, and can score from right there, I mean, that's a big man right there. Whereas a lot of people his size now, they want to handle the ball. They want to stay on the perimeter. They want to shoot the three. Like, this man was.
I don't think he even attempted a three last night.
He didn't.
That all came against, and for people who are unfamiliar with Koa Peat, get familiar. He's quickly ascending into that upper realm territory of players to look at. But he plays for Arizona.
Top five.
They beat Florida.
Top five.
That's your defending champion in college basketball. They lost production, but they have their front court, and he was
dogging them folks.
I mean, Alex Condon could do nothing watching those highlights last night. He is an exciting player. 30 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, a block for Arizona. And like the way he handles the ball at his size is really, really impressive stuff.
Right, man, right.
I love your excitement over Koa Peat.
I'm locked in. I'm locked in on Koa, man. I'm locked in on him.
Well, the other one who everyone is very locked in on, and some people have him as their number one coming out of this year's draft class, but Darren Peterson from Kansas.
Right.
6'5" guard, 19 years old. Last night he has 21 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. And Kansas just dismantles Green Bay. The game looks so easy for him. You know it's crazy, Will, when you see not 1, not 2, but 3 people on the timeline comparing him to Kobe.
I mean,
it's early November, and we're already in that territory.
Yeah, it is early November, and obviously, I don't ever want to walk into a space discrediting any program, but we playing Green Bay. So it's a nice tune-up game for him to get out there and really just feel for the game and get loose and have fun. I mean, what I'm saying, 21 points, 7 of 11. Like, that's nothing to bat an eye at, but it's like I really get excited to see these players show up when conference play starts.
Right.
Because that's when, your coaches got to dig into your X's and O's. That's when your coaches have scouted and, your tendencies and they figure a player out and you're really studying someone's game. So, of course, Hell of a player for sure, but I'm really excited to see what happens when they tap into conference play, and I feel like that's when guys like this is when you know, or this is when they show up.
Yeah.
All right, can we give it to Peat to close out a game? Can we give it to Darren Peterson to close out a game? You know what I'm saying? Tie game, 2 minutes left. Who gonna take over the game? Right. Who gonna settle the offense? Who gonna get the big play? And even last night, Peat, as big as he is, I forget what portion of the game he was in, but this man was diving on the floor for loose balls. And you just don't see stuff like that often. It's just exciting to see people that still want to play that hard.
Yeah.
And as big as he is, I'd be kind of nervous for him to dive at a ball while I'm diving for a ball. I mean, because that's not a small brother.
It was a hell of a start. Like the Stars start out, and Boozer doesn't even play last night. You have the big Duke-Texas game happening. Is that today? I think that's tonight.
Is that tonight?
I believe Duke, Texas is tonight, if not tomorrow. Hold on, let me double check that. Yeah, Duke, Texas tonight, 7:45 on ESPN. So an opportunity to see Boozer.
Got to download some crazy app to watch it.
Do you have YouTube TV?
Man,
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Pissed me off this morning.
You still don't have it.
I might have to go I might go Hulu Live.
I had a friend find out last night. She was trying to watch Dancing with the Stars.
That's stupid, man.
She was like, why? And then I remembered not everybody watches college football because so many people found out about the
I couldn't watch my
Disney
Bulldogs.
YouTube TV situation because of College Football Saturday. But then I realized for normal people, like non-sports fans, of which I don't understand them. Yeah, but then suddenly you're trying to watch Dancing with the Stars on a Monday night, and you're like, where the hell is my Dancing with the Stars?
It's crazy, man. I just don't. What that man? What Tyree said in that video? What more do you want from me? What more do you like? Why is YouTube TV beefing with everybody? Or maybe it's because it's like,
okay, why does Disney want everything all the time, all at once?
I mean,
everyone is a greedy little gumdrop in this world. Yeah. Everybody's trying to get as much money as humanly possible, and it's never enough. Yeah. But we can all be greedy watching the college basketball season.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You already have.
For sure.
The narrative around this draft class is, God, people are going to be trying to tank so hard for their chance at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these players, and it can be kind of a top to bottom draft. Do you want to get your take on the Tigers, who, since we last sat here, had a pretty difficult and disappointing finish to their exhibition slate with their loss to Auburn? They play San Francisco on Saturday.
Which is not a bad program.
No, it's a very good program.
Which is not a bad program. They finished top. They finished top 3 last year in their conference.
It is a really hard start to the year for Memphis in terms of their non-conference schedule. We know what the American is. We know that Memphis will likely be predicted to win the American. They can make it to the conference tournament. They can accomplish all those goals within conference. But it's this non-con schedule that gives them the opportunity to build a resume outside of it. And they don't get to ease into this. I'll start with what concerns you the most coming out of the exhibition games.
Obviously, I think there's still some shape we got to get into in terms, physically. Because even after the first game that we watched when they played Arkansas, I mean, those guys, they walked out at halftime and they still looked gassed. Just the physical shape of our players, I think they came out way too hard, in the first half. We sing this same song every year. Shooting, man. Shooting. They went up to Auburn and shot, 18% from 3?
They had more turnovers than made field goals.
Shooting?
Which isn't good.
And turnovers.
There you go. There's the stat.
I saw this.
It's every year, bro.
Every year. Every single year. And it looks like it's going to be the same thing this year. And shooting, turnovers, and then defensively, they'll pressure teams, and the teams they're way more athletic than. It's like, oh, okay, I can see what the pressure's doing. But the teams that can handle the pressure, they're gonna get easy looks at the bucket.
Yeah.
Every single year, man.
And when you look, even when you look at what San Fran does, I mean they average causing 11 turnovers for every opponent that they play. They average that, and it's like this team is very comfortable applying pressure and playing extremely hard. And on top of that, as hard as they're playing, they're getting transition points, and they shot 40% from 3, or shoot 40% from 3, and it's like, when you come up against somebody like that means we got to take care of the ball. Mm-hmm. We got to get the easy buckets. We got to win the hustle plays, and we got to clean the glass. Because when you got a team that shoot like that, I mean, sounds like the ball don't come off the rim very often, but when they do shoot, we got to get those long rebounds, and we got to get out in transition, and we got to score the baskets. Because right now, the shooting is going to hurt us if we don't fix it. And that's not something you can fix as a team. Like that's an individual thing. You have to get into the gym and put the shots up. Like Penny can't help us with shooting.
Yeah.
You got to want to do that on your own.
Which player excites you the most on this team?
On our Memphis team? Man, I really like Doug.
Yeah.
He's made it very clear.
If Doug McDaniel can be consistent, which is something that hasn't been the case necessarily at his stops at both Kansas State and Michigan, but he can be the difference maker. He's made it very clear that he is going to be the leader on this team. It's starting to look like Sincere is going to be one of our go-to guys to get a bucket. But as far as Doug, handling the offense, calming things down, and making sure things, move how they do, I really like him, and I really like him being at the head of the snake and taking lead on this offense that we have. Well, thanks for the Grapico. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm a big fan of this. Can't believe it.
That joint good. Listen, next I'm going home for Thanksgiving. Next time I go home, I'm gonna make sure to buy y'all some because I can literally only can get it when I go home to Georgia.
Okay. All right. That's where it's at.
That's where it's at. Georgia and Alabama. That's where it's
because you brought me a soda. Next time I go to the Lou, we're gonna get you some Fitzes.
Okay.
I got 2 soda hookups now.
There you go.
That's so exciting. I got my soda plugs.
Yeah. Really, I'm the plug. Really, I'm the plug. Are we allowed to sing on this show? I didn't know if it was a.
I mean, as long as it's not too well.
And not Sailor Twift.
Yeah.
We can only talk about her. We can't sing her songs.
Why we can't sing her songs?
Because she has ears everywhere.
Then they pull down the show. They're like,
I mean, they're great songs.
Such magical
I love
voices.
them. If you had to,
worried about us covering.
I had to ask my homies. Listen, I want to ask y'all just real quick.
Okay.
You asked the homies a Taylor Swift question.
Yeah.
Okay.
I asked them. We was
Okay.
top 5 Taylor Swift songs. Swift got some bangers now.
Okay, what's yours?
I'm a Swiftie. Man, let me see. I don't know the name of them. I just hear them.
Teardrops on My Guitar.
That's a good one.
Shake It Off.
Shake It Off.
Is that the
Bad
haters
Blood?
gonna hate? Bad Blood.
I like Bad Blood.
Bad
Romeo
Blood.
and Juliet.
That's not the name of the song.
Say Yes.
It's
What's my song?
Is it not Say Yes?
Is it
Love Story. No, it's Love Story.
What's the song about a white dress? I heard it. I heard it when I heard it on Some I Turned Pretty. I fell in love with it.
Oh, I don't know that
Man,
one.
what's the name of that song, man? I'm a Swiftie for sure.
You're a Swiftie for sure, but you can't name any
can't
other
name
Taylor
5
Swift
songs.
song. Clip it.
I like our
Please
song.
Clip it.
Our
Steven,
song
clip
is
it.
a
What is it?
Our song.
Do it again.
Our song is a sing it out my window.
I didn't know that was her.
It kind of works. Listen, I love
know.
Taylor Swift. I don't know the names of the song. She loves Taylor Swift, but can't sing the song.
Okay.
It still worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
A Blank Space.
What's that one?
Blank Space is
You
good.
got a blank space, baby.
Okay.
Don't write your
CJ
name.
trolling us.
I'm not.
And
CJ trolling us, man.
All Too Well 10-minute version.
Do you know if your song is 10 minutes? I'm not doing that.
I've been falling in love with country. I need to save enough money so I can get me a truck. I've been bumping country hard.
You want to get a tractor?
Man, I get some. I was bumping Jason Aldean this morning.
Man, that's a good one to bump.
What are you bumping from Jason Aldean?
Man, let me see. Where I was just
Is
listening to.
Aldean Big Green Tractor?
Man, you crazy. Listen. Yeah, I'm chilling on a dirt road.
No, Jason Aldean is
Laid back swerving like I'm George Jones. Hey, that's my.
That's a good one.
Aldean went crazy. And the remix good too with Ludacris.
Aldean is tried that in a small town.
Oh.
I hadn't thought about that song in a long time.
Shout out Aldean.
But I did like Dirt Road Anthem, and I like the remix on it. Who did the remix on it?
Ludacris.
Is it Ludacris?
Yes.
Damn.
Ludacris and Big X.
You think?
King.
Wait. You think
Country.
the National Guard is in his small town?
I don't know. Try that in a small town. Well, thanks so much for joining us as always. We got to do some TV Tuesday. What we're watching. I started the new show on Apple TV. There's another new show coming out on Apple TV. There's all the shows on Apple TV
rich.
right now.
We just got done talking about all these subscribers and channels, and you just talking about you got Apple TV. You got bread,
get
man.
This. I get it for free with my mom's credit card.
She got the bread.
She has
then.
the points.
When she coming back?
Soon.
gotta see
She'll
my
come say
girl.
hi. Yeah, she'll come say hi. Sharon will say hi. We just found this out. It's one of the perks of the credit card she has. I was like, you need to give me that credit card so we can sign up our family for Apple TV, and then we can take one of those out of the equation of how many we're paying for.
Xfinity, you can bundle. Are you supposed to say not an ad? Ain't y'all supposed to do on the radio? Xfinity, you get
Xfinity, not an ad.
Not an ad. You get bundled. You get a bundle when you get Xfinity internet. You get like Apple TV, Disney, and something else.
It's too hard to keep track.
Man, you're gonna have to. They all compete with each other. Man, every
also,
doggone thing a subscription.
We're also going to talk about Monday Night Football from last night. Sexiest man alive, according to People magazine. All that after a quick break.
Not according to you. You don't think he's sexy?
Who's the sexiest
man alive? I think he's sexy
he's
as
sexy.
hell.
He's sexy.
Watching the Grizzlies is easy with FanDuel Sports Network. If you have cable or satellite, you're all set. Find us on your channel lineup. You can also use your TV provider login to watch games on the FanDuel Sports Network app. No cable or satellite? Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network online. You can also watch on Prime Video by adding a FanDuel Sports Network subscription. Not sure where to start? Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com to learn more.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all-new tour.
You're the other white meat. How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other? Well, you're half of it. I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at JeffDunham.com.
Check this out. Last season in the NBA, there were 139 40-point games. We're like 5 days in, 6 days in, and we have had 16 already. It is on pace for over 300 40-point games.
Holy crap.
Sheesh. That would be the pace.
Yeah.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
About like, okay, we're escalating, and then we get to that part of the song, and it's Kenny, like I don't think that's a crime.
It's brutal. I haven't read those lyrics in a long time.
Like that's all of the things you said before that.
No, dude, you don't even know. Crimes. I can't even read the rest of these. We'll talk after. I'll rehearse them for you after the show.
Before that moment, everything is definitely a crime. That one is like, I'm pretty sure that's not a crime.
Did you watch Monday Night Football last night?
I was back and forth, and then I woke up early and finished it.
The Cardinals beat the Cowboys.
That they did.
27-17. Jacoby Brissett back at it again as the backup quarterback who he's not the what's the word? God, my brain is toasted after 3 hours of sleep and an hour 20 into this show. Like, he's not the stepdad. He's the dad that stepped up. He's not the backup quarterback. He's the quarterback who stepped up. It didn't work out as well as it. He's not the step quarterback. He's the quarterback who stepped up.
Where do you put him in the
best backup quarterbacks of all time?
Yes. Fitzgerald is in there. He's in there. Right now, Minshew is having his moment.
This is such a lame list. When I looked up top 10 greatest, oh, never mind. It doesn't say backup. I've typed in best backup quarterbacks of all time, and it was like Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Peyton Manning.
Oh, no.
I'm like, that is not the exercise here.
That's not.
Sure, at one point, they were the backup.
Nick Foles is a good one.
Oh, Foles is a great one.
Who's my man who parlayed?
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton.
That's a good one.
Andy Dalton, I still think of him as a starter. Because he had, 6-7 years with the Bengals? But
what do you think of Case Keenum?
Oh, that's one. That's one. Who's my man who's now coordinating? Is he head coach now? Used to coordinate Broncos, the Boise State.
Oh, Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore was a real good backup for his time.
Doug Williams.
But again, Doug Williams.
Won a Super Bowl.
Like, that's racism. Like, he's not a backup. Come on now.
Doug
Williams.
Different time.
Doug Williams took the Tampa Bay Bucks, who were a laughing stock, and made them respectable. And then, like, yeah, we don't want you at quarterback anymore, black dude. Go away.
Where are we putting Gardner Minshew?
I said Gardner.
Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry.
Gardner's in there, but that's too recent. I think recency bias might play a bit of a role. Gosh, they're
This list has a Charlie Batch.
Charlie Batch for the Steelers was great as a backup. I could just love when Charlie Batch could get in. Chad Henne, one of those, was like, oh, they're putting Chad Henne in?
I know this wasn't our time, but apparently Zeke Bratowski in the 1950s and early 60s absolutely crushed
I love Zeke
Bratowski.
Him too.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
How about Bubby Brister? Also before my time.
Yeah, no, I don't know anything about Brister.
Name. Played for the Broncos.
Boise State?
John Elway missed 4 games in 1998, and Brister threw 10 touchdown passes. Kept him unbeaten until December.
Kyle Orton. Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes.
It's a good one.
Tyrod Taylor.
Chase Daniel made a hell of a lot of money.
Oh, my gosh.
He did it right. He did it right.
Such a good one.
$41 million before he was ever signed to start for a team.
Jacoby is up there. Like,
Flutie's up there.
Yeah, Flutie.
But I don't think of him as a backup.
Flutie probably should have been a starter, but yeah, he ended up being a backup.
Who was the last one you just said?
I can't remember.
Have you said Brian Hoyer?
I did not say Hoyer.
That's
another good one.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, you're good enough if 3 or 4 of these starters go down, which it's the NFL. 3 or 4 starters are always going to go down. So you're not one of the, I'm not going to say you're one of the 32 best, but you're definitely one of the top 40, which means you're going to play some this year. And then we're going to be like, oh my gosh, how excited are we to see Nathan Peterman get out there on the field? Josh McCown, get out there on the field. And they get you a game. They can get you 1.
Yeah.
They can't get you 2 or 3.
No.
They're not going to do that. No.
It's a flash.
No.
That's why we had the Fitz magic.
Oh.
It was magic that lasted a little bit.
Like
the
3
magic
weeks?
doesn't last forever.
3 weeks maybe?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, he is really bad at this. Never mind.
I love this edition of Name a Dude. name a backup quarterback.
Let's reminisce. But it started because Jacoby's out there on the field.
Balling out, making the offense look good, making Marvin Harrison look good. I'm sure Marvin Harrison's father was pleased with the offense's performance last night. He was not pleased with it at that point in the season.
80 yards, 6 receptions, and a touchdown.
Marvin?
In the first half.
Oh, yeah. So I was going to say he ended with 96.
Yeah, in the first half. That was his stat line. And the way he broke down whoever it was out there supposed to be defending him in the red zone, where a man just trips and falls over nothing. Just hits the ground, rolls around, legs go straight up in the air as Marvin Harrison just kind of just a regular ass slant into the end zone for the touchdown was kind of impressive.
People name their sexiest man alive. How's that for a transition?
Was it Marvin Harrison Jr.?
It was not Marvin Harrison
Okay, that's
Jr.
a terrible transition. Then.
It was not.
Was it Brissett?
And it was not Jacoby Brissett.
That's terrible.
It was Jonathan Bailey.
Look at that man's eyes. Oh, shit. Damn.
Jacob had the audacity in the chat to say we're just making people up now when I sent this for TV Tuesday because Jonathan Bailey was on television before he was most recently known as playing Fiyero in Wicked, the movie, and he'll be back in the conversation with Wicked Part 2 coming out later this month. But he was on Bridgerton, so he does sit in the TV space and the film space, and he is people's sexiest man alive. And not only did he have that cover with the eyes, there's pictures of him with puppies. And, you know, there's nothing that makes a sexy man even better than some cute puppies along the way. I think Jonathan Bailey is adorable, which I wouldn't always equate with sexiest man alive territory, but I'll give it to him. I love Jonathan Bailey, and I will be crying before Wicked Part 2 even begins. And I cannot wait for Jonathan Bailey and Cynthia Erivo to smolder into each other's eyes as they sing As Long As You're Mine.
That man comes onto the screen.
Makes me feel
First
things.
off, comes onto the screen in Bridgerton. It's like, oh, okay. You know how we talk about Summer League and preseason, where it's just like, hey, you just want a guy to pop off the screen, like, oh, that looks different. He comes onto the screen in Bridgerton. It's like, oh, hold up.
He's different.
Yeah, he's different. He's definitely different. And in season 2, he's got the thing going on, and it's like, oh, we get to see him like naked now. Oh, okay. All right. And listen, when my man hopped up on that table during whatever song that was in Wicked, it was like, like that's
dancing through life.
that is a sexy man right there. Absolutely.
Can I applaud you?
What?
I really appreciate your ability as a man, as a strong man.
I don't know how strong I am.
I don't know how strong you are either, but I'm just trying to help you out here.
Okay.
That you can say that's a sexy man.
Like, come on.
I
go
will
watch
look
that.
at hottest
How
women
can
in the
you-
world. I saw the Sydney Sweeney pictures this week, and I can say, husband, look at Sydney Sweeney. Like, wow.
Okay.
It was a nice dress. It was an evocative dress. Provocative dress.
If you got nice headlights, man, you gotta show them.
You got the car.
You gotta show them, right? Like,
don't keep them off.
How many times have people bought cars because of the headlights? No, go back.
No, but I appreciate that you were able
listen.
to appreciate, to take note of one of the sexiest men alive.
All right, I got a PIP meeting in about a minute, so
Yeah,
I'm
they're gonna fight.
gonna end it right here. Go and watch him dance on those tables.
I know.
Listen, I felt a stirring in my loins as that man was prancing about in that damn scene. He is sexy.
Yes.
They got it right. Sometimes people will try and outthink you and get it wrong.
Right.
And get it wrong. Like this, not only is he the sexiest man this year, and understandably so, but throw that cover back up, Jacob, because I think this might be the sexiest cover of the sexiest man of the year. Right? Like, if it's not, I think it's top 5. I can't think of many covers sexier than this.
I don't have time to do this exercise because you have to get to your PIP meeting. But I would agree on first glance.
Do you want to draft sexiest
Maybe.
covers?
No.
Okay. Do you want to draft backup quarterbacks? But wait,
We want a double draft, sexiest cover and backup quarterback. Dual draft.
Ooh. Let's get it going.
Are you watching anything real quick?
I finished Peacemaker.
Good? No.
Maybe I wasn't in the right headspace for the last episode. I was all the way caught up, went on vacation, fell behind, and just now got back to it. And so watching the last episode, it was like, okay, this feels rushed. I've lost. I don't feel like you have to earn the emotion. I know the emotion you want me to feel, but earn it. I didn't feel like the last episode made me, that the emotions they wanted me to feel, it wasn't earned. I was like, yo, I'm not feeling that emotion.
That's how I felt with the end of Gen V.
Okay.
Made me mad.
Okay.
It has a purpose. When you get to the end, we'll talk about the purpose.
Okay.
And I think the show lost itself in trying to get to that purpose.
They got to move to the boys thing, though,
Yes.
right? Like this
That's
is
the
this is
purpose.
just a giant preview for the boys.
But originally, I did not think the shows had to be so intertwined that, I mean, at this point, you have to watch both. You
Yeah.
can't just watch Gen V, you can't just watch The Boys. If you want to watch The Boys' final season, spoiler alert, it's going to involve heavily the characters from Gen V, and you needed to know the context for Gen V to get to the end of that to understand the motivation and how it all wraps up. Anyway, I thought it was a disappointing Gen V season. I know they dealt with a lot because one of the stars passed and changed the trajectory, and it missed the mark. And as we have discussed, it got a little too close to home for a couple of
That's
storylines,
the-
and it wasn't a whole lot of escapism.
That's the biggest
Yeah.
part.
So I'll see how I feel with The Boys because they're not going to go any other way. There was like we'll talk after the show because we've got to get to the meeting. I am watching Down Cemetery Road on Apple TV, which is the new show by the writer of Slow Horses, which I'm a big Slow Horses fan. This has been billed as like the women-led Slow Horses. It's a mystery, espionage, investigating bad people in the government doing bad things, and a tragic event happens, and a woman in the neighborhood becomes very interested, and she's like a low-level spy or a common spy, and how that all transpires. It stars Emma Thompson and Ruth Wilson, which is why I started watching it, because I love Emma Thompson. She's one of those British actresses that I just think is really cool. Sense and Sensibility, Love Actually. She's Professor Trelawney in Harry Potter. She was Mrs. Potts in the live-action Beauty and the Beast. She's also in this movie called Good Luck to You, Leo Grand, which is one of my favorite just like little quiet movies of the last few years. But between her and Ruth Wilson, who I suffered through years of watching The Affair, but I do really like her. They're terrific actresses, and I watched the first 2 episodes, and the end of the second episode left with enough of a cliffhanger that I am sucked into the show. So I recommend giving it a glance. There's a ton of new TV shows dropping in the next couple of weeks, so it'll be a busy time for TV. Not a lot of time to watch because we've got another 3 Grizzlies home games this week. Tomorrow will be another Grizzlies game day on a Wednesday. We will get into all the happenings there with the Rockets coming to town. D'Angelo Williams will join us. We'll chat with him. We'll see you then. Have a great day. Bye.